Hello, wrestling fans. Blake Smith from Walking the Ropes, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Rampage from Atlantic City, New Jersey. To open the show, we had a tag team match, Roppongi Vice versus the Young Bucks. This looks like it will be another classic in this storied rivalry between these two that started all the way back in New Japan, when these two were battling for the junior heavyweights titles and the heavyweight titles for the tag division. They had many matches. I could not tell you the record between them. That'd be an interesting stat to know for sure. But I know for a fact that whenever these four step in the ring, it is always magic, and they are they're some of Japan's best tag teams for sure. And they proved that quickly by getting all four men in the ring quickly and just going hard from the word go. The Bucks go for a count-out win by suckering Roppongi Vice out to the stage and then hitting the super kicks before sprinting back to the ring and then having the ref start the count. Rocky Romero, though, crawls his way back to the ring just before the count to continue this match. We get Orange Cassidy. He kind of seems like he's about to distract, or no, it seems like he's going to get taken out by the Bucks or whatever, but he just rolls under the ring. All of a sudden, you just see a thumb come from underneath the ring, and wouldn't you know, it's Danhausen, who comes from under the ring, and he curses the Bucks. And Roppongi Vice then takes control, and Matt is just, once the Bucks are able to fight back, the Matt just starts to rock as he takes control, and then the Bucks start mocking the best friends. Roppongi Vice didn't take control for very long after the Danhausen moment. The Young Bucks just kind of quickly stunted that and took control. Rocky, though, he uses this moment of distraction from the Bucks with the mocking the hug to tag in, and Trent is able to actually reverse the momentum. Roppongi Vice then takes out Nick with a huge flying knee, with Nick being on Trent's shoulders. And then Roppongi Vice looks like they can end it whenever they want, but not yet. The Bucks just won't die. They go back and forth some more, but Vice gets the blind tag, and Trent hits a strong zero for a near fall, only broken up by Matt and Rocky falling on them. Neither man can end it, and it seems, really, I have no idea who's going to win until the Bucks get Rocky Romero down and they hit the BTE trigger for the win. Nobody's kicked out of that. The Young Bucks defeat Roppongi Vice, and for my Malteser scale, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was a really, really good match, and makes me really want to go back and watch more of their matches from Japan. I've seen a few of them, but this was just awesome. For the WTR scale, I gave it a 4.25 out of 5 because of the fact that we actually got this match delayed. It was nice because we had the ability to build story on this. We got a couple, we had some really nice additions. I believe Roppongi Vice was jumped by Jay White last week. It was very, very cool. After the match, Orange Cassidy takes out Brandon Cutler, and the Bucks then take out Orange, only to be chased off by Trent Beretta, who is jumped by none other than Jay White, who lays out Trent and throws up the Too Sweet, which I was a little surprised by, but I think his Bullet Club is allowed to do it, whereas the Young Bucks Bullet Club, the Elite, are not allowed to do it. Team Taz talks about Dante Martin, and Ricky says that it will end with a Face of the Revolution qualifier match next week between Dante Martin and Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought we've ended this feud a couple times already, but I guess not. Tony talks with Bryan Danielson about Moxley teaming with Punk, and he says he isn't worried about it, and he will wait. Matt Sydal comes in and he's angry that Danielson thinks Lee should join Danielson and Moxley and leave his side. And Brian says that Lee needs violence, so he and Moxley could teach him that. And Lee steps up and challenges Brian to a match on Dynamite. I'm quite impressed. A bold move, and I don't think it'll work out for him, but he's gonna try. We get a singles match. Dr. Britt Baker versus Robin Renegade. And Britt looks to make a statement against Robin and show her just who the DMD is. She quickly takes control and doesn't allow Renegade to get anywhere. She does show some life, but it really doesn't go anywhere as Britt just steps aside. Robin once again gets a flurry going, but Britt pulls out a super kick from nowhere, and it seems only a matter of time as Britt hits the curb stomp for the win. Britt Baker defeats Robin Renegade, and from a Malteser scale, I gave this a 3 out of 5. It was a good match, solid. I mean, we expect the women's champion to be very dominant in pretty much any match she's in. For the WTR scale, I gave this a 2 out of 5 because I don't really understand why it was there. After the match, Britt Baker locks in the lock job, which she should have just won with, in my opinion, but is stopped by Thunder Rosa, who is only stopped by Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Martinez, who then themselves start to argue. Britt settles everybody down, and they all leave. We could have just done like a Britt Baker talking something like last week, and had Thunder Rosa come out and do all this. We could have just done this without having Robin Renegade lose. But I mean, it is cool. She got some TV time. Whatever. You can't look at that as a bad thing either, because that's experience. Layla talks about Chris and says she pissed her off, and Chris says that she will not be undermined. It looks like this is going to be a pretty good match when we do get it, and I believe we're getting it next week. We get a singles match, Hook versus Blake Lee. Hook has been a thorn in the side of QT Marshall, and QT is sending one of his so-called best students to him. Blake Lee is that. I've never heard of him. I've never seen him before, and if I had to guess, Hook is about to dominate this match and make Blake Lee look like a chump. Hook is doing just that as he is a step ahead and just tossing Lee around the ring. Not even breaking a sweat. Hook gets distracted by QT on the apron, and that allows Lee to hit an elbow, but is instantly sidestepped when he tried to do a springboard, and then tossed on his head. And then Hook locks in the Red Rum for the win. Hook defeats Blake Lee. For the Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.25 out of 5. Again, very good match. Hook has been doing very well. Obviously, he's still a little green, and he has some work to do, but he is doing very well. For the WTR scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. Very good match. Nothing really wrong with it, in my opinion. And story-wise, we had a nice little build. This was QT's, like, one of his last shots. I imagine we'll get a QT versus Hook match, probably at Revolution, which would be interesting. We then get Mark Henry talking with the tag title match participants. The Gun Club say they will make a statement, but not just, they have made a statement, but not just one. They made two, and tonight they will make another when they win the titles. Jurassic Express says that they will send the Gun Club to the end of the line once again. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Jurassic Express defending against the Gun Club. This has been a long time coming, as the Gun Club made a statement taking out Christian, almost a month ago, it seems. They had teams jump them in the line, and now they're finally getting their shot, and they look ready to have the fight of their lives. They have some new gear as well. They genuinely look like they are taking this as seriously as they could. Then Jurassic Express have also been on a hell of a run as of late. They do not look like they're going to give up those titles anytime soon, but I also thought that of the Lucha Brothers. So, I mean, who knows? We start out really slow with Austin and Jungle Boy going back and forth and mocking each other. Jurassic Express then sends the big man, Luchasaurus, over to bring the Gun Club back in the ring and back into the beatdown. The Gun Club finally takes advantage, and they use their time well as they beat down Jungle Boy. And Jungle Boy finally flips his way around to a tag, but the Gun Club took out Luchasaurus on the apron, so there was nobody there. And Luchasaurus uses his size to grab Austin, and finally he's able to get tagged. He literally just grabbed Austin out of the ring, and he finally was able to make the tag. So he comes in and he tosses the Ass Boys around, and Jurassic Express has some miscommunication as Jungle Boy went out for a dive but was sidestepped and he hit Luchasaurus by accident. The Gun Club tries to take advantage of this by distracting the ref to hit Jungle Boy with one of the titles, but Jungle Boy kicks out at the very last second. Luchasaurus comes back in, drags Colton Gunn out to the fans as Jungle Boy hits a kill switch for the win. Jurassic Express defeats the Gun Club to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That was a very good match. I mean, I obviously assumed that was going to be the case, but I really enjoyed the way the Gun Club did in that match. They really impressed me. For my Malteser scale, I give it a 4.25 out of 5. I really enjoyed the build we had for this match, the overall action in this match, the little miscommunication with Jurassic Express. I don't think we've really ever seen that. And then for the WTR scale, I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 for all those reasons and the fact that this has just been one of the top, I shouldn't say top stories for AEW, but it's been a really good story that's been going for about 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say now, and it's just finally come to an end and it worked really well. For the overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a very good show. We're building towards Revolution in a few weeks, and yeah, it was pretty much exactly what it needed to be. For the segment of the night, Danielson will wait for Moxley, and I just want to see this tag team at least once, and then if they miscommunicate and they can't get going and whatever, and they fight, that's fine, but I want to see it. The match of the night goes to Roppongi Vice and the Young Bucks, but it also is going to go to the World Tag Team Championship match because they killed it as well. Both of those tag matches are amazing. I love how AEW has so much respect for tag teams. And for the performers of the night, I give it to Jurassic Express as well as the Gun Club. Both teams impressed the hell out of me. So did Roppongi Vice and the Bucks, but there was something about their match that just made them stand out for what they did specifically. But that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.